Amitabh Khan. Requesting Joint Secretary, Department of Tourism, Shri Binod Jana, to present bouquet and Uttariya to Padma Shri Sanjeev Kapoor ji. I would be requesting Balmukund Bhaiya ji again to present a bouquet and Uttariya to our moderator, Ms. Akshita M. Bhanjadev. Saroj Kumar Swami ji to present bouquet and Uttariya to Dr. Joshna Suri. Binod Jana sir to present bouquet and Uttariya to Sri Chetan Bhora, co-founder and managing director, Wedding Line. And would be also requesting Balmukund Bhaiya to welcome Commissioner cum Secretary, Department of Tourism, Sri Balwant Singh. Requesting Sri Binod Jana to welcome Director, Department of Tourism, Sri Shamath Verma. Take it, fine. Sorry. As we gather here today, we embark on a journey to explore the unparalleled beauty, cultural richness and untapped potential of our state Odisha as a premier tourist destination. Odisha is not just a state, it's an emotion. A symphony of ancient temples, pristine beaches, dense forests and vibrant festivals that narrate tales of a glorious past and a promising future. As we explore how digital innovation, experiential marketing and sustainable practices can elevate Odisha's tourism sector, we are honored to have distinguished speakers, visionaries and leaders joining us. One more round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And to set the tone for today's discussion, I would be requesting Sri Balwant Singh IAS, Department of Tourism Commissioner cum Secretary, to deliver the welcome address and provide us with the much needed context for this enlightening session. Sir, over to you.
Jai Jagannath. Good afternoon to everyone. I take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Srimati Pravasi Bharatiya to this significant session on tourism, unraveling India's best kept secret. I am honored to welcome Sri Amitabh Khan, India's G20 Sherpa, main architect of Incredible India brand, and our today's keynote speaker to this session. We are privileged to have you, sir, here with us today, and we eagerly look forward to hearing your insightful and visionary perspectives about tourism. My pleasure to extend a warm welcome to the distinguished panelist, Padma awardee Sri Sanjeev Kapoor, a true culinary icon, renowned humanitarian and successful entrepreneur, Dr. Joshna Suri, Chairperson and Managing Director of the Lalit Shuri Hospitality Group, Sri Chetan Bhora, Co-founder and Managing Director of Wedding Line, Ms. Akshita M. Bhanjadev, Moderator for today's session. I extend a warm welcome to the distinguished Pravasi Bharatiyas who have travelled from various corners of the globe, invitees from hospitality and tourism industry, media friends, ladies and gentlemen present here. Today, we celebrate our shared cultural roots and Odisha's immense potential as premier global tourism destination. Your presence reaffirms the strong bonds with our homeland. Odisha's cultural and spiritual identity begins with the blessings of Lord Jagannath, the presiding deity of our state and a symbol of devotion and unity. The sacred town of Puri, with its iconic Rath Yatra, draws millions of pilgrims and travelers embodying the spirit of faith and togetherness. Beyond Puri's spiritual aura, Odisha's architectural marvel tells the story of our glorious past. The Sun Temple, Konark, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stands as a testament of artistic brilliance, while the Buddhist site like Lalitgiri, Ratnagiri and Udayagiri offer serenity and historical insight. Let me take you all to those best kept secrets which are actually to be unraveled before world. I'll take one by one on faith front. Sakti, the Chausati Yogini temple near Hirapur is a rare tantric shrine dedicated to 64 yoginis, showcasing ancient tantric practices. Jainism. Odisha played a significant role in the spread of Jainism, evident from our ancient Jain caves such as Udayagiri and Khandagiri in Bhubaneswar. Buddhism and its evolution, especially the evolution of Buddhism from Hinayan to Mahayana and Vajrayana, all traditions are reflected in Odisha's Buddhist heritage. You can see here Nanak Bawli in Puri, which is water tanks, linked to Guru Nanak's travel to Puri, reflecting Sikhism history in Odisha. We take to next architecture and our planned civilization, our Ekamra Kshetra, which is high density of temples in Bhubaneswar called Ekamra Kshetra, boasts thousands of temples, a high density of ancient temple with Lingaraj temple being the most prominent. Our planned cities, Shishupalgarh, Jaugarh, Talpada, Lathi, all these 6 planned cities during Buddhism flourished in our state, old Kalinga Empire. Ashoka's Kalinga War, well known, peace and war. The Kalinga War at Dholi Hill transformed Emperor Ashoka by seeing valiant fight of our Kalinga Empire people and messenger of peace, leading to spread of Buddhism. Barune Hill, part of history, it's first, we know 1857, but first war of freedom happens here. We call it Paika Rebellion, considered to be India's first freedom struggle. Salt Satyagraha, importance, when 1930, Odisha played a significant role in Gandhi's Salt Satyagraha, particularly in Nechodi. Now we shift from history to nature, how we are very specific, those best kept secret. Nature and wildlife, Simlipal Sanctuary. Simla was one of India's largest tiger reserve and biosphere reserve. Olive Ridley. Very unique, this is nesting, Odisha's Gairmatha beach and Rishikulia both are world's largest nesting site for olive ridley sea turtles. Chilika, known for this Bacchus, Asia's biggest Bacchus water lagoon, known for famous Iravadi dolphin and migratory birds. Millions of migratory birds come here, and which is very significant with Pravasi Bharatiya Divas celebration. These Pravasi birds, migratory birds, when they get nice ecosystem, it's very relevant. We deserve much more tourists come to Odisha in coming days. Crocodile population, this is Chilka. Crocodile population, again unique, Bhitarkanika, which is biosphere reserve, home to one of the largest population of estuary crocodiles in India. Forest cover, our state is having one of the largest forest coverage in India, which is we proud and we want to work on more on this. Coastal line, 480 kilometer long coastal line offers lot of prominent beaches like Chandrabhaga, Puri, Gopalpur, Talsari. We are extremely privileged to have APJ Kalam Island, which was his Karm Bhumi. This Wheeler Island, earlier known as Wheeler, and now it's APJ Kalam Island, is a missile testing site of Odisha's coast. Biggest earthen dam, Hirakud, of Asia, which we want to go for integrated development on tourism line on Kevadia, what Gujarat has done recently experimented. Our food, craft, painting and dance form, we all know Rasgulla, linked with our Jagannath culture. Dahi Bada Aludam of main street food from Cuttack. GI tag, we boast of a lot of GI tag product like Rasgulla, Kandamal, Haldi and other, especially this is new at Sadi. This is Haldi Kandamal, Kai chutney from Mayurbhanj, craft, various sari product of Kotpad, Berampur, Sambalpuri, Dokra craft, filigree, Sora art painting from tribal, especially PVTZ, Patachitra, Raghurajpur art village, this form, Gotipur, Odisha. So this is modern Bhubaneswar, which is first smart city. We ride from our roots, tradition to modernity. Same time we have 64 our aboriginal tribal communities. We are proud of cultural diversity. We offer array of craft in Raghurajpur village, which is our heritage craft village. And last but not least is the Bali Yatra, our Kartik Purnima tradition and maritime history. So these best kept secret which are known to us as fact, but we want to reach out to world and we want to unravel. We celebrate on this particular occasion. Despite its immense potential, Odisha faces significant challenges as well. We have to accept, especially on less short peak tourist season, having very extreme weather, influenced by climatic condition and states susceptibility to natural disaster, particularly in coastal region, impacting our tourism infrastructure. Other challenges like suboptimal are air connectivity, limited number of high-end hospitality chain, shortage of skilled manpower to some extent, especially high-end, regulatory bottlenecks, especially when we have nature, so forest and environment side. But our commitment, especially we want to dwell on sustainable tourism with our visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Chief Minister. We are resolute to make Odisha as model for sustainable tourism. Our policies prioritizing eco-friendly practices, our nature resource protection and community involvement. New ecotourism hubs and adventure tourism activity including safari and adventure sports are being developed. Our flagship eco-retreat product is becoming very famous. In our effort to diversify our tourism offering, we have introduced innovative product which will cater experiential new generation, especially millennial generation, Gen Z. Odisha government is committed to develop world-class tourism ecosystem with Vision 2036, which state government has undertaken recently. So my heartfelt thank you all for joining us today. We look forward for your continued engagement, support and contribution as we work together to elevate Odisha on global tourism map. Let us come together to celebrate the wonders of Odisha, a land where every journey is discovery, every experience is a story, and every visitor is part of our extended family. Thank you so much. Vande Utkal Janni, Vande Bharat, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that insightful welcome address. Now let's immerse ourselves in the essence of Orisa through a captivating theme video which we have actually compiled, showcasing the state's tourism gems from the architectural splendor of the Sun Temple in Konark to the serene backwaters of Chilika Lake. This video is a testament to the unmatched allure of Odisha. Let's have a look on the video. Console, can we play?
Jai Jagannath.
This is my Orisa, my home, where every sunrise feels like a blessing over ageless wonders. And every corner whispers stories etched in time. Here devotion isn't just a ritual, it's a way of life. It echoes in the chariots that carry faith, in sacred prayers under the nation's ancient temples, resides in the divine grace of Puri's Lord Jagannath Temple, and shines through the timeless artistry of Konark Sun Temple. On the holy banks of the river Mahanadi stands the abode of Goddess Samaleshwari, revered for centuries as the mother of the universe. This devotion beats in the hearts, bound by faith, love, and pride. Our skies come alive with vibrant flocks of birds. Our waters dance with playful dolphins. And our forests hum with the symphony of life. The the serene highlands like Day-01 stand tall, watching over a land where nature thrives in its purest form. Along the vast coastline, where the waves whisper ancient tales, all the villagers return home to complete the timeless circle of life. Every flavor here is a memory, every dish a connection. The sacred avanha that nourishes the soul, the tangy delight of Orisa, the rich aroma of Kurkut coffee, or the sweet delights of Rasgulla. Each bite, each sip, feels like home. Wrapping you in the essence of tradition and belonging, our culture flows in the rhythms of private drums, in the timeless grace of Orisa, and in the hands of artisans who create beauty for tradition. It is a living heritage that I hold close, a pride I share. And yet, Orisa isn't standing by. It's moving forward. Smart cities, boundless opportunities, and innovation that honors our roots. It's my Orisa. Modern, vibrant, alive. Our festivals are a reflection of us. Vibrant, united, full of life. They remind me every year why this place feels like no other. This is where I belong, where my heart finds peace, my soul finds purpose. But Orisa isn't just mine, it's yours too. It's a home for everyone who seeks connection, wonder, and belonging. A world of wonder awaits. Come, hear the echoes of Orisa.
Tourism has always been a part of our civilization. Odisha's scenic beauty, temples, monuments, craftsmanship, wildlife sanctuaries, natural landscapes, and pristine beaches make it an ultimate tourism destination. Our government will provide assistance for their development to Odisha as well.
That's indeed an amazing compilation. Hats off to the creative team. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, it's my honor and a matter of sheer pride to welcome our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Srimati Pravasi Bharatiya, who is also the Minister of Tourism, Women and Child Development and Mission Shakti, to deliver the inaugural address. Her visionary leadership has been instrumental in shaping Odisha's tourism policies and initiatives. True architect of women empowerment through revolutionary Subhadra scheme to ensure that all the women across the length and breadth of the state can be financially independent and can be a part of state's economical growth and progress. A huge round of applause, and let's welcome once again Honorable Deputy CM Srimati Pravasi Bharatiya ma'am for her inaugural address.
एटीन्थ प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस उपलक्षे मु सर्वप्रथमे उत्कलर ये पवित्र माटी को जगन्नाथंकर भूमि को मंचरे थिबा अतिथि माने एवं मो सामने थिबा समस्त अतिथि मानन को स्वागत करुछि। Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished panelists, Sri Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa and former CEO of Niti Aayog, Sri Balwant Singh, Commissioner cum Secretary, Tourism Government of Odisha, Dr. Surya, CMD, the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group, Padma Shri Sanjeev Kapoor, culinary icon, humanitarian and entrepreneur, and very famous as Khana Khajana. Sri Chaitan Bora, co-founder and managing director, Wedding Line, moderator Akitami M. Bhanjadeo, director of our Belgaria Palace. Media friends, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to welcome our Indian diaspora to the land of Lord Jagannath. Today I am here to discuss a subject close to my heart, Odisha's tourism vision and our commitment to sustainable development. Odisha is known as the soul of incredible India. It is a land of unique diversity, from the architectural greatness of the Sun Temple Konark, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, to the beautiful beaches of Puri, Chandrabhaga and Chandipur, from the calm waters of Chilika Lake to the towering peaks, the Eastern Ghats. Odisha offers a great experience. Odisha's cultural traditions are rich and deeply rooted. Festivals like Ratha Jatra, maritime festival like Bali Jatra, Konark Dance Festival, Mukteshwar Festival, Rajarani Music Festival attracts large numbers of visitors to visit Odisha. Our government is dedicated to sustainable development. The department is implementing key central projects promoting eco-friendly growth. Under Swadesh Darshan, we have developed coastal areas, enhanced infrastructure and facilities while preserving coastal heritage. I take immense pride to let everyone know that two iconic tourist destinations, Satakosia and Hirakud, have been selected among 40 sites from across 23 states and union territories for special assistance to states and union territories for capital investment in success scheme. To develop Satakosia and Hirakud, the central government has approved a substantial interest-free loan of 199 crore to Odisha, paving the way for comprehensive development and enhanced visitor experience. Odisha's beach circuit is being transformed through holistic development, blending seamlessly with local communities and promoting eco-friendly urban planning. New walkways and beach tracks initiated by the tourism department are not only beautifying the coastline but also driving sustainable tourism practices. We prioritize sustainable tourism by protecting our natural treasures, including iconic wildlife sanctuaries like Simlipal, Bhitarkanika, Debrigad, Chilika, Mahendragiri, Devmali, through integrated master plans. Orisa is launching innovative tourism products like hot air ballooning, caravan tourism, camping, hotels, yacht tourism, homestays, adventure parks and more that will offer a unique experience which will cater to diverse interests and solidify its position as a premier global destination. Orissa tourism is dedicated to sustainable tourism, aligning with UNWTO, United Nations, World Tourism Organization's Sustainable Development Goals. Our Eco-Retreat flagship program represent sustainable development goals, promoting eco-friendly practices, minimal environmental impact, and local sourcing. By supporting local farmers, reducing waste, and educating visitors, eco-retreat sets a benchmark for responsible and sustainable tourism. Orisa's tourism strategy prioritizes sustainability, balancing economic growth with environmental and cultural protection. We are promoting responsible tourism too. Eco-friendly infrastructure that minimize waste and uses renewable energy, community involvement, training local guides, and empowering artisans, encouraging sustainable practices among tourists, and partnering with global organizations for the best practice. In line with global trends, Orisa is also embracing digital technology to enhance the visitor experience, from digital ticketing to mobile apps, offering real-time updates on tourist destinations. We are ensuring that our tourism infrastructure is modern, efficient, and accessible to everyone. As we continue to enhance Odisha's tourism infrastructure and promote our unique offering, we invite you all to play a key role in our journey. Let's work together. We have the caves to promote Buddhism and to develop Buddhist corridor, and we are proud that the 3 days you are here, you will visit different places of Orisa. You will enjoy it more, the food. We have the nature, we have sea, we have wildlife, we have heritage, we have the tortoise, birds, and the highest peak like Day-01, and you will enjoy the nature here is more, and everything Orisa will provide. I hope you all will enjoy these 3 days. We have lot of potentiality. By the blessing of Lord Jagannath, we have love of nature, and I here to inform you that our government is ready to put forward the private sectors to develop our tourism destinations. I am here to welcome you all. Orisa is a beautiful spiritual tourism. You know, in Rath Yatra, in 10 days, in the beginning Rath Yatra we have taken 10 lakhs, and in Bahuda Yatra we have taken 10 lakhs. 20 lakhs visitors visited our Badadanda, and we are controlling. Orisa is a very peace-loving state, and I am sure in your help, you are the ambassadors of Orisa tourism now. You will promote our tourism, our culture, our peaceful states, nature in all over the world. I put Odisha, let's work together to put Odisha on the world tourism map and make it a model for sustainable tourism. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. To further enrich our understanding of India's vast tourism potential, we are delighted to have Sri Amitav Kant, India's G20 Sherpa and former Niti Aayog CEO, a distinguished leader and a true architect of transformational initiatives in India. It's a matter of sheer pride to have you with us, sir.
The Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Srimati Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. We have a very distinguished panel here. Srimati Jyotsna Suri, Dr. Jyotsna Suri, who's been a champion of hospitality sector. We have a culinary icon in Padma Shri Sanjeev Kumar. We have somebody who's been driving weddings in India, Mr. Chetan Vora. And we have a very dynamic person who's been promoting weddings in India, Mr. Chetan Vora. And all the distinguished officers, Mr. Balwant Singh, Mr. Samarth Verma, the Development Commissioner Anu, many other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So let me first congratulate Odisha on holding the 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. It's always a delight and a pleasure to be back in Orisa, particularly in Bhubaneswar. And Bhubaneswar, because where we are standing today, has been a very significant place in India's history. It's been a significant place in India's history because if you read William Dalrymple's latest book, The Golden Road, and he says the Golden Road is much more important than the Silk Road, because all the trade to the rest of the world started from India. But he talks about how Emperor Ashoka spread Buddhism from Orisa after having defeated his Kalinga opponents. And he laid the foundations of one of the greatest empires of world history. And that book is very uniquely researched, and it establishes that Orisa is really the fountainhead of both Buddhism and Jainism. And therefore my belief is that the world of tourism actually works on experiences. If you are able to create unique experiences. And secondly, I've always been a believer that the world is moved towards experiences which are of a high value. So my request to Orisa is that it should not sell itself cheap. It should sell itself as a very high value tourism destination. It should sell itself as a high value tourism destination because my experience shows that we were able to take Kerala from a $20 a night destination to about a $600 a night destination. And that was possible because of two simple things. One, our belief that we will take Kerala back to its roots. We did not ape the West. We did not ape any other Indian state. We created products which were based on the strengths of Kerala. Kerala had then only one product, which was Kovalam beach, which had been encroached, which was very dirty, which was very filthy. And we stopped tourism to Kovalam for about 2 years, but we opened up new products. We opened up the backwaters of Kerala. We started converting the traditional rice boats of Kerala into houseboats on which not a single nail is used and which float into the backwaters. We went back to the traditional Kerala cuisine, the Nagar cuisine, the Mapla cuisine, the Christian cuisine, which was appam and stew, which was not heard of. We went back to the traditional Kerala culture, Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, which had all died. We went back to the traditional Kerala architecture, the Nalkittam houses, and restored them. And we went back to the traditional Kerala martial art, Kalripet and brought it back center stage. Now why I'm saying this is because the world is looking, there are 250 destinations competing in the world. Now, the tourists of the world are looking for different experiences. They don't want to, they've got fed up of 5-star hotels. Now, every 5-star hotel is the same. People want a different experience. And there is no other destination other than Orisa. To my mind, it is richer than Kerala. It is the richest state of India in terms of destination. It is the richest state because I have traveled to Raghurajpur, where Pattichitra paintings are done in bright folk style. I have traveled to Pipli, where there's unique applique work. I've traveled to Balakati, where there's bell metal, and I've traveled to Behrampur, where there's famous for silver filigree work. And I've not traveled to many other places, but there are many other unique art forms in Orissa. And to my mind, the richest cultural art forms, the dances of Orissa are unique. The temple sculpture gave rise to classical dance forms here, which actually is unique because the dance was a ritual offering performed in the temples of Orissa. And in addition to the classical art forms, you have the folk dances performed during festivals, the Dandanath, the traditional fisherman dance, the Chatagoda, which requires a horse dummy, the battle dance called Paika Nitra, and the Chao, the mass dance drama. All these are very unique. No other state of India has that. And this is the only state of India which has the Chilka Lake, the largest brackish water lake in Asia. It has a beach destination in Gopalpur with backwaters, lagoons and creeks. And you have wildlife sanctuaries, and you have crocodiles, olive ridley turtles. You have Konarak, you have Puri, the Surya temple in Konarak, the Jagannath Yatra. So the wide range of experiences are unique. And therefore my belief is that you have to create very high value experiences from these unique art forms, these unique cultural forms, and the unique heritage and the temples that you have. I'm also saying this because the temples of Orissa are unique. They are unique because coastal Orissa was part of the ancient kingdom of Kalinga, which grew prosperous through trading, and it used the port of Kalinga Nagar. And as early as the 4th BC, the colonial influence of Orissa extended as far as modern Indonesia. And much of modern Indonesia has a huge influence of Orissa. But the great thing about the temples, and since you are in Bhubaneswar, if you visit the Lingaraj temple, which I spent a whole day doing, you realize that the temples of Orissa are truly, truly unique, because the temples of Orissa, the architects liken the temple to the structure of the human body, and the names given to the vertical sections correspond to the main parts of the human body. And this is not done in temples or churches or mosques, any other part of the world. And therefore this experience is unique. Now, my view is that experiences are not created by government. Experiences, Kerala took off because Kerala is a product of private enterprise. And Kerala took off because the local entrepreneurs created great boutique resorts. And the experiences were created around these unique boutique resorts by the local entrepreneurs. And my suggestion to the Honorable Minister, who's a very dynamic minister, and she's asking for suggestions, is that you need to create very unique boutique resorts which are based on Kerala architecture and which are based on Kerala's art forms, which are, if you could create great temples at one point of time in your history, and you have the greatest architecture in the world, you can use the same architecture to create great boutique resorts. And if you have the greatest dance art forms in the world, you can bring those art forms here. And if you have the greatest crafts of the world, you can bring them all and link them to hospitality. And if you have the greatest cuisine in the world, which Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor will vouch for, you can all link it up to the hospitality. And therefore my suggestion is that private sector is a private sector tourism is a private sector enterprise. But there is a job of the government. And the job of the government is to provide last mile connectivity and to do good promotion and marketing and to bring the private sector together. Without bringing the private sector together, without acting as a catalyst, without driving a great brand marketing campaign across the world, which has to be the world's #1 campaign in the world. That's what we did. We created the we created the brand entity of God around Kerala. You know, the God's own country was nothing but saying that experience that you will have will be very heavenly, which will be very godlike in Kerala. And that experience was actually created by the private sector. So, again, to my mind, that, and I'm being very honest about it, that Orisa is far more richer in every single product than Kerala is. I can also tell you that Kerala's entrepreneurship in many areas, including mines, roads, many other things, is far richer than Kerala. Kerala was a case of a failed entrepreneurship. There, actually, industrialization had failed. It has not, entrepreneurship has not failed in Odisha. But they succeeded, while they failed in industries, they succeeded in tourism. And that was because the state played a key role of providing last mile connectivity, doing great brand marketing, great campaigning, and getting the world's best creative directors. Never do anything second best. Whatever you do the world's best. Make it very clear that you want to make Odisha the world's best destination, and you want to do the best campaign, and you want to work with the best people around the world. India has reached a stage of its growth. We are already a $4 trillion economy. The Prime Minister's vision is that we'll be a $30 trillion economy by 2047. I'm saying all this because Orisa wants to grow with jobs. There is only one sector in this country, entire country, where one job will create 11 indirect jobs. In crafts, in cuisine, in architecture, everywhere it will create jobs, and that is travel and tourism. And if you want to grow with jobs, madam, the only sector which will give Odisha growth with jobs is travel and tourism. So Odisha should put all its energy, all its dynamism, all its fervor, and all its best officers in the world of tourism and work with the best people around the world to make Odisha the world's #1 destination. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure all of us must have felt that adrenaline rush inside us. We take sheer pride being Odia, aren't we? Some of us are there, I'm sure. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, time has arrived that we would be Going for our panel discussion on the theme Unraveling India's Best Kept Secret, our state, Orisa. Moderating this exciting discussion is Ms. Akshita M. Bhanjdev, Director of the iconic Belgravia Palace, whose efforts in heritage conservation and tourism are exemplary, and Editor-in-Chief, Travel and Leisure. We have with us as our esteemed panelists, सबसे पहले 5 साल पहले जिनके YouTube चैनल पे जब डालमा बनाने की रेसिपी अपलोड हुई, आई एम श्योर ओडिशा के लड़के भी डालमा बनाना सीख लिए. A big round of applause for the iconic culinary expert, Padma Shri Sanjeev Kapoor, humanitarian and entrepreneur. It's a matter of sheer pride, sir, to have you as our esteemed panelist. We also have from the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group, Chairperson and Managing Director, Dr. Joshna Suri. Thank you for being here as our esteemed panelist. We also have the presence of co-founder and Managing Director of Wedding Line, Sri Chetan Bhora. So we have many places where destination weddings are going on, and that to be in huge number. Definitely we will be seeking your insights on same. And I would be requesting our befitting moderator, Ms. Akshita M. Bhanjdev, to carry forward the discussion. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Jai Jagannath, Johar. It is my absolute honor and pleasure to be able to moderate this panel, Unraveling India's Best Kept Secret, Orisa. So no one told me that I was going after one of the greatest orators, Mr. Amitabh Kant. So the job has just been made much more difficult. I'm not sure if I can, with the same adrenaline and power, be able to speak about Orisa. I was just going, in my mind, I was thinking, sir, if there's a position available in the ambassadorship of Orisa, we hope you take it, because no one has spoken such powerfully. So my job has been made a little more difficult, but I'll take on the challenge to speak as powerfully about Orisa's tourism. But I also had a whole block of resumes, CVs and bios, so I'm glad that Munmuna has made my job easier in being able to introduce everyone very eloquently. But, you know, I had a lot of paperwork in terms of questions to ask, insights to take, and from my meetings with some of the panelists, I've realized let's keep this conversational, take out insights, and I urge the audience here, which I believe is going to be having a Q&A towards the end of the panel, to please listen in, take notes, because we will be taking questions from the audience. And with this exemplary panel, extremely distinguished thought leaders, innovators, and policymakers, these are the right people to ask in terms of how do we shape our entrepreneurial journey, like Mr. Kant just said, for Orisa. I want to begin with an icebreaker, but I feel the ice has been broken. Everyone is charged and we're ready to kind of, you know, we've seen so much of Orisa. If you just walk across the auditorium, you'll see so many pictures, images, you know, stunning monuments, and we've heard all about Orisa's different product offerings. So I'll jump in, and for this I have the absolute honor to ask our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Madam Shri Pravasi Bharatiya Ji. And the last time we met, ma'am, was when we were pulling Goddess Subhadra's chariot together in Baripada Mayurupanch at the Dvitiya Sri Kshetra. For those of you who are unbeknownst, it is the only spiritual event in the world, the Jagannath Rath Yatra in Baripada in Mayurupanch, where women only pull Goddess Subhadra's chariot. So I had the absolute honor of doing that with our Madam Deputy Chief Minister. So ma'am, this question comes from a little bit of something I thought even then. Women have been at the forefront of Orisa's cultural and craft heritage, from our weavers of Sambalpuri saris to our Sabai grass artisans. How can Orisa's tourism sector empower women to take on more leadership roles, not just as custodians of heritage, but as entrepreneurs, guides, and decision makers in the industry?
Thank you, Akshita. I think Orisa is a place where women is leading from front. In Mission Shakti, we have more than 70 lakhs women are organized, and my government is able to provide financial assistance to more than 80 lakhs women in just 6 months. So, in agro-tourism, in spiritual tourism, in cultural tourism, only women are leading. And you see the women-led development, and the central government has decided to develop women entrepreneurs in the tourist places. And now you see the high peak of Deomali, where the gate operated by the mission Shaktis, and every tourist places you find the sanitary work, the mission Shakti cafe, the Ormas leaded Mela, everything is controlling by women, and in future Orisa will lead the tourism through their Grameen women. The rural women of Orisa will lead the tourism, because our Prime Minister has encouraged us to do some small things to make a big change. So we are planning to involve women and create that change in future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, that's really insightful, because something to what Mr. Amitabh Kant just mentioned, boutique property offerings, all the experiences actually happen outside the boutique property. Whether we go to the Sabai grass weavers, the Dokra artisans, the handloom sari weavers, women have such a role to play in tourism and can really influence not just the economy, but also the experience to make it a premium experience. So thank you so much, and we look forward to being able to contribute to these schemes and initiatives and make sure we can propel a lot of the women to be part of the tourism journey of Orisa. Moving on, this is a question for the Commissioner cum Secretary, the Tourism Government of Orisa, Mr. Balwanse. Start off with Chef Kapoor. Great. So this is something, interesting that I read to Padma Shri Chef Sanjeev Kapoor. I was reading a recent Booking.com report, which actually said, can anyone guess the #1 reason the inbound and domestic market is traveling today? So before you answer, I'll just see if the audience has. Can anyone guess what's the #1 reason tourists are traveling today? Of course, the women are the first ones to answer in Orisa. It is actually food. Culinary tourism is the #1 leading reason why both inbound and domestic travelers are traveling. So to start off with that, to Padma Shri Chef Kapoor, Orisa's culinary treasures remain underexplored on the national and global stage. How can initiatives like food trails, regional food festivals, or even curated culinary experiences create a distinct identity for Orisa's gastronomy? And could you share an example of how food has been a successful anchor for tourism elsewhere?
Thank you, Akshata, and thank you for this honor. आप सभी को संजीव कपूर का प्यार भरा नमस्कार. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि दुनिया भर से लोग आए हैं. It's feeling very good to be part of this and to share this stage with the Honorable Deputy CM and a great supporter of mine, Mr. Amitabh Kant. जब लोगों को शेफ के बारे में नहीं पता था, he has always been a big supporter of chefs. So people like me have a lot to thank him for that. ये इतनी बार आने के बाद में जो पद्मश्री सुनाई दे रहा है, उसमें भी इनका बहुत बड़ा आता है इनके जैसे लोगों का. So must acknowledge that. I think before I talk about what Odisha can do, I think let me give you 2 case studies where I personally have worked very closely. So 2 governments I have worked, 2 countries I have worked very closely with. Many years ago it was with the Singapore government, where we were asked to define what food of Singapore is. And this is in early 90s, and few of us got together and we were commissioned by their tourism promotion board back then to think what the food of Singapore should be. And Singapore didn't really have food of its own, so we divided that, and we at that time called that as New Asia cuisine. And there were 3 parts which are popular. So there was native Chinese who were there, then there was Peranakan cuisine was there, and there was Malay cuisine that was there. So how do we talk we didn't talk too much about this. So we picked up iconic dishes, some iconic dishes. We said that these are the dishes. I think if money is put behind them and continuously, consistently, lot of conversations are created around that, that would become food of Singapore. So before that, early 90s, go back, you didn't have Singaporean chili crab or laksa or fish head curry. They were not celebrated the way they are celebrated today. So all the focus went into defining few dishes, and that became food of Singapore. And that's it. There's no heritage, no culture in that sense, what we have here. Second case studies, again, we did a lot of work with the government of Australia. And again, what do you do? What is food of Australia? It is barbecue. And that was not something which was not something that could be celebrated that much. So we started work, and this was again commissioned by Australian Tourism Board. And we worked, and I'm very proud to say that the whole tourism campaign, the whole tourism money went into food. The whole tourism campaign for 3 years continuously. The campaign was called Restaurant Australia. The whole campaign, tourism campaign, was called, everything evolved around food. And so again, there were two things. We said, produce of Australia, it's fresh, it's natural. And then, like Mr. Khan said, we worked on creating or getting together best chefs, best experiences, worked on excellence. And all the conversations were built around creating exceptional experiences. So somebody at that time, the chef, the #1 restaurant was Noma, was brought in to talk food, take ingredients of Australia and create his expression of that. World came for that. So exceptional experiences were created. Australian tourism target was fast-tracked by 3 years. So food is critical. And this is something that I believe for many years, that we underplay food. While we talk about all our things, whatever, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whatever, I think these are experiences which are sensorial in nature. So you see a painting, you see with your eyes. You hear music, great music, you hear it with ears. You see a dance, you are seeing it. These are sensorial. Food is the only experience where all 5 senses are at play. All 5 senses, and that is underplayed by us. And I think we need to wake up. India as a country need to wake up, where we need to put a lot of money in creating food as one of the biggest vehicles. We are what we eat. It's not just the senses. It is not only pleasure for senses. It is something, it is what we become from it. And it's beyond that. Memory of food stays with you for a lifetime. It is something that emotes in a way that nothing else can emote. So I think if we can, just one thing we can do, we can bring food to fore, bring focus to it. I think everything needs food. And sitting in Odisha, I think the rich heritage culture, what is there? We don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything new. There is so much. We just need to talk about it more. We need to start taking pride in it more. We need to create more conversations around it. Create more conversations will create more consumption. Anywhere. So this morning I went to a news channel, so they gave me a flower, they welcomed with flowers. I said, you know what, rather than anybody, you are doing these flowers, anyone can do. When anyone is going back, just take 200 grams, 100 grams of chana polo. Just give that to everybody. Just do that. People will carry it with you. You will be surprised that we may talk about dishes that we know because we are immersed into it. But go 300 kilometers out of this state, there would be things people say, what? We don't know. They are not just hundreds, thousands of dishes. But then, that is a good thing and a bad thing both. We need to focus. So, my suggestion is to start creating more conversations around food from Odisha, bring excellence into it, create experiences like no other, which cannot be delivered anywhere else, give people a reason to emote with it much more than what is currently being done. And there is no reason, like Mr. Khan said, I also believe that every time I come here, and I have somebody, sometime I have a dear friend sitting here, Saubhagya Mohapatra, not in his hotel I would eat at his house. Because I believe that experiences best are created at home, but hotels and boutique properties can then start to learn and start to deliver with a finesse. And once we start to do that, I think there is no way on earth that we are not talking this as a best destination in India. This can be the best destination that world would vie for. And from my side, I am giving my commitment, Ma'am Minister, that, and this is something I said to other people also here, that I am available to create content and conversations around food. I am willing to give my time to it. I think I owe this to this state, this great state of this legacy. I am committed and I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so inspiring, and Padma Shri Chef Kapoor, that was also on record. So now we know that we can call you back anytime to make that content. But thank you so much, because I think that, something you mentioned about creating those premium experiences with our cuisine, and something that I've always believed is, if everyone's grandmother went to any of the restaurants, we'd find 100 more Michelin star chefs. It's just that so much of the food we cook at home and we eat, we take for granted. So actually, I wanted to move on from this, talking, because something that comes up when we talk about creating these experiences is skilling and attracting the right stakeholders. Mr. Singh, if that's all right, I'd like to ask Dr. Jyotsna Surya a question first. Okay, great. So I think that, first of all, Dr. Jyotsna Surya is the chairperson and managing director of the Lalit Surya Hospitality Group, which has had premium experiences and created product offerings that have been renowned all over the world, from Srinagar to Calcutta. So, my first question, and Dr. Surya said this to me in no uncertain words, was, cut the fluff and get straight to the point. So my 5-line question in one question is, how does Orisa, with all its offerings, with all its natural resources and beauty and the right kind of talent, actually be able to attract more hoteliers? What can be strengthened to attract more investors and foster meaningful partnerships for the hospitality sector?
Thank you very much for that introduction. Namaskar to all of you. I'm delighted to be here in Bhubaneswar. Lots of friends, some lovely smiling faces sitting right in front of me. So Orisa has everything, as we've all heard, and we know it all. But there isn't enough information and there isn't enough exposure to the various other elements. As I was mentioning to you, that if I have to come to Orisa, I will not be in Bhubaneswar. I would like to go beyond Bhubaneswar. And where are those elements which are different? We've heard about the beaches and everything. What is unique about Orisa? And the two things that come out very clearly is Buddhism and your tribal. You have 65 different tribes that are here. We need to enhance that exposure. There isn't enough exposure. We've got a great green cover as well, but there's plenty of wildlife everywhere. But you have not been able to expose your Buddhist experience. We do know that Ashoka became Ashoka the Great only because he renounced war after Kalinga and adopted Buddhism. He became way more famous as a proponent of Buddhism than as a king. So in my mind, he was a mighty Emperor Ashok who promoted love and peace. And if anything is required in this world today, it is love and peace at this point. So I think more exposure to be given to these different elements, go beyond Bhubaneswar, that's one. There is a tourism policy. We are aware of the tourism policy. A little bit of tweaking on that, and Madam, we did meet with you through HAI, if you recall, and we gave you a small proposal. I have Mr. Mohanty sitting here as well. We gave you a small proposal of just tweaking a little elements. I'm not saying that we have to change the policy. The policy is very good. But if we were to tweak a little bit more, a few more tax incentives, availability of land. So one of the biggest problems that we have, and that's not only in Orisa, but anywhere in the country, is land. Because if you have to buy land at commercial value, then your hotel project becomes completely unviable. So if we were to find out or discover some of these spaces, allocate land, and I want to take a step back to Mr. Kant, because when he was promoting Kerala, he also promoted an area called Bekal. And I'm happy to say that my husband Lalit was the first one to pick up a property there, and we have a beautiful hotel there. But it is, again, long lease, so becomes affordable. Therefore, I think if Orisa focuses on two of its most important elements, that is Buddhism and its tribal areas, its tribes. Cuisine, of course, is a given, and I'm not going to debate on that at all. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and we all know that. So I'm going to cook a meal for you very soon, if I can get to your stomach at some point. But that's where I think we should look at, and I certainly think there's so much potential. Orisa truly has so much potential. All we need to do is to tap into it.
Dr. Surya, I'm going to, just on that note, I feel something that you said was really interesting, and all of us wonder about this as well, is there are certain factions where it's the government and private players who have to create land banks, who have to be able to, tweak policies or to invite the right stakeholders. But I think something that we always talk about as the youth in Orisa is skilling and job creation. We've heard from Mr. Kant, we've heard from all the panelists about tourism not just being a means to livelihood, but a multiplier of livelihoods. So how do you suggest that, how can the hospitality industry collaborate with not just the state government, but also with other partners and players to ensure local communities are adequately skilled and empowered to take advantage of these opportunities?
So it's very, it's a very unfortunate situation that while travel, tourism and hospitality is currently the largest employment generator and will continue to be so, we are all suffering from a lack of skilled manpower. Every single hotel chain, all of us are suffering from the lack of skilled manpower. So we have to up the game with all our IHMs, all our state-run organizations where we have training done. Private players have hospitality schools. We have a hospitality school as well, but then it's located in Faridabad. How do we harness the youth here? And that comes through the infrastructure that we already have, but we need to up that. And we, as a matter of fact, the Ministry of Tourism has taken on an initiative, and through Hotel Association of India, all of us have been doing this. We've adopted 5 IHMs. We've done training in Srinagar, we've done training in Jaipur, we've done training in Chandigarh, and we are planning to do a couple of trainings, in Madhya Pradesh as well. So I think it's a public-private partnership. Ministry of Tourism has taken this on. Vidyavati ji championed this cause, and a lot of us in the Hotel Association of India are all doing this. So there has to be a collaborative movement. It cannot be done just by the private players, and it cannot be done just by the government or the state. So we need to work together. The state needs to reach out to us hoteliers, because it's something that has to be done coming from them. That can we work together? And I can assure you, ma'am, if you reached out to us, we will be more than willing to support that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Surya, I agree with almost all the points you made except one, that I think to the way to a woman's heart is also through food. And I'm sure that Padma Shri Chef Kapoor's TRPs will prove that. But who's watching?
What I said was a way to a man's heart, and what you said, a way to a woman's heart, is, and certainly women don't want weight down their waist. So we are very happy giving you the weight.
Great. But I think there were 2-3 points that you said that was really important, but the biggest takeaway I take from that is collaboration, with different partners coming together. And I think that one thing we all really appreciate in Orisa is just the willingness and openness that you all have shared on this stage to come out and collaborate. I think it makes a lot of the entrepreneurs' minds here kind of willing to be like, how do we then step in as well? And takes the onus not just of the government, but on each individual player to contribute to this vehicle. Since we're talking about skilling, branding, marketing, I also want to take this question now to Mr. Amitabh Kant. Before I start, I want to give a quick personal anecdote, Mr. Kant. I come from a district called Mayurbhanj. It's one of Orisa's largest districts. And a little over a decade ago, it was one of India's aspirational districts. And when me and my sister were growing up, we realized that coming from an aspirational district, there's something about branding and marketing when you tell someone where you're from. And we realized we didn't want to be, we wanted to be the last generation that kind of had that tag, even though the tag was meaningful for the kind of partnerships we could indulge. So last year, actually, after we came back from New York City, after 10 years abroad, we decided to get into hospitality, entrepreneurship, and restore our family home to become a boutique hotel. Last year, Time magazine nominated Mayurbhanj as one of the 100 greatest places in the world to travel to. And the Belgaya Palace was listed in it. The only reason I say this anecdote is because a lot of the initiatives that you all have taken have actually trickled down to people like us who saw the potential of branding, marketing, and taking agency to own your story. Where I'm from will be remembered, and tourism was a great vehicle for sustainable development. So I wanted to ask you a question, Mr. Kant. Your leadership of the Incredible India campaign set a benchmark for branding and marketing Indian tourism globally. Given Orisa's unique blend of heritage, natural beauty, and cultural diversity, what strategic branding and marketing initiatives can the state adopt to position itself as a must-visit destination on the global tourism map?
Yeah. So first of all, let me congratulate you on this initiative of going back to your district and creating a great experience out of your heritage property. Aspirational districts were actually the most backward districts of India. There are 115 of the most backward districts of India. The Prime Minister, when he started this campaign, said we'll not call them backward, we'll call them aspirational districts, so that they compete with each other and actually improve radically, and they do much better than other districts, and that's what's happened. And the great thing is that the aspirational districts in many parts of India have started doing better than the best performing districts. Because there was constant data, there was constant monitoring, there was constant judging of performance, and data was being put out in public domain, so everybody was being named and shamed. And, so collectors, elected representatives, everybody knew whether they're going up or down. So, I think one of the great things that's happened is it's also created a sense of pride, as you've done. And my view is, much like you've come back from New York and you've done this great job, you need about 150 young people of Orisa to come back and create great experiences around Orisa. And 150 is a very small number. Very small number. If they can be motivated non-resident Indians who are living abroad, who are willing to create great experiences around Orisa, and as far as handicrafts are concerned, and crafts are just, all kind of crafts exist in Orisa. If they can be created around the temples of Orissa, if they can be created around the cuisine of Kerala, if they can be created around the architecture of Orissa, if they can be created around, every single aspect of Orissa, 150 great experiences would take Orissa to another level, and that should all be based on the inherent strength of Orissa and not on what the Western world does. There should be a sense of pride, a sense of ownership. There should be a sense of great strength on the strengths of Orissa. And that no other state of Orissa has. And when you do that, then get the best agency to brand and market it and put it out into the world. That's what Orissa needs, a great branding campaign. But a great branding campaign, a brand is as good or as bad as the product is. If the branding is good and the product is bad, then it will not work. In Kerala, it worked as God's own country. It worked because God's own country was created by private entrepreneurship. Much like Mrs. Suri created Bakel, many other people created resorts, and therefore the experience has to move up the value chain from a $20 to a $500 destination, and that needs to be done. Now, many of these products, when you create the last mile, when we created the backwaters, there were no jetties. So private sector came in with houseboats, but there were no jetties. The job of providing jetty, the job of providing road till a jetty was all the job of the Department of Tourism. The job was not to run hotels. In Orissa, the Orissa Tourism Development Corporation all runs hotels, etc. That is private. The hotels can't be run by government. Government is not equipped to run hotels. But government's job is to provide last mile connectivity. The hotels can only be run by the private sector as a business enterprise in terms of creating experience. So the last mile connectivity was all provided by, the jetties were built. But the houseboats are all run by young entrepreneurs who made it big. And that's what Orissa needs to do, to my mind. And that will take Orissa to another level of, that will make Orissa one of the greatest destinations of the world.
Thank you so much, sir. And on that note, talking about last mile connectivity and experiential offerings, I'm going to ask my question to Mr. Chetan Vora, the co-founder and managing director of Wedding Line. Mr. Vora, with your expertise in creating memorable luxury events, how can Orissa position itself as a preferred destination for weddings and MICE tourism, especially in scenic spots like Chilika or historical palaces from Bolangir and Tenkanal to Kalahandi and Mayurbhanj? What infrastructure or marketing strategies are critical for success in this segment?
Thank you, Akshita. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to start, and you've started this by giving us a few case studies. I'm going to give you a very simple case study. A few years ago, we were at an international destination, and we had a celebrity wedding to pull off. So I was called from here. It was an Indian celebrity getting married to an international celebrity, and we happened to be there. So I said, why are we going there? She said, I want a beautiful lake, and I want this backdrop to be a lake. So I said, okay, we'll go there. So we went there. It was exquisite. But we sat down at this beautiful hotel, and it was, this is the backdrop. This is how it's going to be. This is how the groom is going to come. All of that was discussed. And then we got into specifics, and we said, but it's an Indian wedding, and we need a barat. So the GM of the hotel was sitting there. He said, no barat. We don't understand. We can't have this. She said, I want him to come in an elephant. I said, we're sitting in another part of the world. We're not going to produce an elephant. No, but he wants an elephant. I said, well, we clearly found the wrong place. And then we got into food, and we said, no, we need Indian chefs. And she said, the GM said, oh, we have only one Indian chef who can do limited food. So in that process, and this meeting went on for about a few hours, and I was getting more and more frustrated sitting as the planner, I just whispered to her, I said, if this was India, and knowing who you are, you would have everything on a platter. And that's exactly what, and she said, so why are we here? I said, let's go back. And that wedding, actually, we came back, we went to Rajasthan, we did it there. So that's actually the power of India. So to come back to it, what we've heard everybody say, and what we heard ma'am say, what we've heard Balwantji say, everything is You've got the lakes, you've got the palaces, you've got the mountains, you've got everything possibly that any wedding planner or any wedding client really needs. But you've got it as the best kept secret. We live in a place, and in a generation, I've got 2 young daughters, they speak a language I don't understand. They send me messages saying LOL. I said, what is LOL? She said, laugh out loud. So then, it's now time not to keep it as a secret, but to shout it out loud. Let's shout it out that this is what we've got, this is what we can offer, and if the Pravasis who are our clientele, if they can come back and say, you can live there, you work there, your businesses are there, but come back to India, that's what we've started. And the Honorable Prime Minister, the government started Wed in India. We started propagating that this is actually there. So there are secrets, the secrets need to come out. Everything that you ask for, what does a wedding need? It needs great food. We've got the best food. It's got the best hospitality. It's got everything that you want. Today we've come on to understanding that it's not just weddings. Companies like us, people like us have started realizing that milestone celebrations have become huge. People earlier celebrated a 50th or 40th. Today they celebrate 23rds, 33rds, 43rds. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows when the next virus is going to come. It's going to take us all down. Celebrate as much as you can. So we've had all kinds of people coming out and celebrating. I had a client who called me up the other day and said, I just got promoted to a partner in a law firm. I'd like to take 150 people out. Give me a destination. We didn't have a product for that. We never had a product to say that how do you people come back and say, can you do birthday parties? Of course you can do birthday parties. It's no longer about putting up balloons, but it's about experiences. Like Mr. Khan said, you can actually make an experience out of anything that matters. We've done with sustainability becoming such a big aspect in our industry, we stopped doing away with menus because we said we don't want to have miles and miles of food. We've done a wedding where we had 10 great chefs who just stood there. You went up to them, you asked them what you wanted to eat. He gave you a little starter to entertain you till he cooked your food and gave it to you hot on a plate. We realized that the markings on that were 30% less wastage that were going around that. So I think from Odisha's perspective, and I have been now working with them very closely for the last few months, I've seen presentations that happen on a worldwide forum. I think, ma'am, it's time to change your tagline, not keep it the secret, but let's start shouting it out, and I think we've got a big story ahead.
Thank you so much. I know we're running out of time, but I just wanted to ask Mr. Singh for one closing statement on, in 2036, Orisa will complete its centenary year.
I think Mr. Kapoor is late for flight. So thank you so much for all joining. On behalf of the state government, I want to thank everyone, Amitabh Khan sir, all joining here. State is working mandated wise, 2036 vision. We will be 100-year-old as state and country 2047 Viksit Bharat. So we have mandate on work on tourism side. So we will work on our strength, what Amitabh Khan sir was telling, and we will not work second best. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was actually a thought-provoking discussion, and thank you, Ms. Akshita and Ranjadeh, to steer this captivating conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, moving towards one of the most believed ritual of our country, Atithi Devo Bhava. We want to present a token of appreciation, a gesture of love. I would be requesting first DCM, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Madam Pravasi Bharatiya, to present Uttarya and filigree rich artwork to Sri Amitabh Kant, India's G20 Sherpa. Ladies and gentlemen, this is time for a big round of applause. Please show some energy. Thank you. Secretary sir presenting traditional Patachitra art. I'll be requesting Secretary sir to present token of appreciation, Uttarya, memento and a piece of art to Padma Shri Sanjeev Kapoor. Our Silver City Cuttack is known for its rich filigree artwork, and we have a memento which is made out of same. Thank you. I'll be requesting again Secretary Sir to present a token of appreciation to Dr. Joshna Suri, CMD, the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group. With a big round of applause, everyone, come on. Shri Chetan Bhora, Co-founder and Managing Director, Wedding Line. Thank you for your valuable addition in the panel discussion. And I request all the dignitaries present on the dais to please come forward for a group photograph. Certainly we don't want to miss this canon moment. Galaxy of intellectuals, achievers, trendsetters in one frame, and we had completed the session, the discussion on Odisha, unraveling India's best kept secret. Ma'am, a group photograph. I'll be requesting everyone's participation. A group photograph of our set of dignitaries present on the dais. I request our Director, Tourism, Shri Samat Verma, to please come and join us. Lot many takeaways from this session. It was really fruitful and quite interesting, participative. Thank you so much. Thank you, Department of Tourism, Government of Orisa. Thank you to all the dignitaries. We will just take a couple of minutes. We will get ready for the next session. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. We are starting the next session. Our next session is quite important because this is meant for all of you. Viksit Orisa 2036, let's learn about our respective roles, contribution, and what the experts are there to offer to us as piece of advice. And of course, there will be different valuable takeaways. Thank you so much. Please stay tuned.